Welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. I'm Madelyn. So nice to have you here. So this week, instead of doing an extended to put on a Vimeo like after every video and things like that, what I'm going to be doing is a fairy spread. So we'll do all the zodiac signs and a fairy for each one of those. And I love the fairies. I think it's one of my favorites. Decks, oracle deck, and they're like Brian. He sees fairies, and he draws fairies, and so these are fairies, and it's not all of them, but some of them that he has met and known and loved, and they have written about. So, for the sake of time, I'm not going to read in great detail each one of the cards. We'll talk a little bit about the energies and the concept, and maybe read a little bit if necessary. So I will timestamp this video, or maybe someone can do that for me, and we'll get a timestamp for each one of the zodiac signs, and so you can see your message specifically. So let's start by placing some Reiki energy into the deck. I'm clearing the deck and placing Reiki energy. And we'll mix up the deck a little bit. The fairy, according to the book, the fairies love it when you do a spread and then pick the fairies. So that's what we'll do today. So, isn't this cute? My kids gave me. All right, so I'm not probably as good at this as they are. So in Theta training, when I was trained in Theta healing, which you can take a look on YouTube and learn a little bit about, she talks about the different, levels, and that we're on the third plane here on Earth, and the fourth plane is where the spirits, spirits of the dead and the souls of the dead, things like that reside. In the fifth plane, we have the ascended masters and the angels. Also, some of the she sees it as both the dark angels and the light angels. Those kind of entities there on the fifth plane. The sixth plane is the laws, she calls it, and that they reside on the sixth plane, the laws of the universe, like the law of attraction, and so these different laws. And the seventh plane is where the creator of all that is, the source of all that is, resides on that plane. And of course, these are all everywhere, but it's kind of has this energetic field. And so in Theta energy healing, we go up to the seventh plane and ask for that energy. Now, the second plane is where the fairies and the elementals are, and the earth is the minerals and the, like the gems, like if you're really into crystals and things like that. So the most of people that are like studying witchcraft or those kind of like earth pagan, earth related, mother earth related things are dealing mostly with the elements in the first plane, and then the fairies, the fairy world is part of the elementals are in the second plane. And they talk about the fairy world, the fairy dimension versus our dimension and other dimensions within the fairy book. So I think I can try this now that I've actually read quite a few of these at this point. So I think I can probably get. So what we want to do is we'll feel the energies for each one of you. Now, because we're in Capricorn, let's start with the earth signs and with Capricorn, and then we'll circle through. Okay, Capricorn. Okay, so, the Lion. It's a 65, which is 11, so it's a great number, Capricorn. You can look up that number, the master number 11, Google it, and see what comes up from the magical Google. And here is the Lion. You can tell that he probably enjoys hanging out in the shadows just a little bit around you. So Capricorn, let's see what we have as your message. 65. The Fee, like F-E-E, lion, instead of the feline, the cat. The feline. And he has his little wings and long fingers and arms. Getting it right, delayed completions, tying up loose ends. So the feline looks out of this card accusingly, reminding us of all the things that are undone, promises unkept, and duties unfulfilled. He says that we can't expect to have things go right when we are trailing so much unfinished stuff. Dragging that stuff around tires us. It uses up energy that we need for other things. If we would just take care of these things, they can cause so much mental and physical clutter. We would suddenly find that we have a lot more energy at our disposal to do the things that we really want to do, and probably much more cooperation from others. We will feel so much better when we've done them. So, okay, so what I'm instantly thinking of for you, Capricorn, is that is your energy. Tidy up. Take care of those little things. So he would love to live in your life and in your house more than anywhere else. He's your muse. You know, he's the one that says, hey, I love the way you think. I love the way you work. I love the way you keep your life. You keep it so organized and tidy. You organize and tidy your mind. You know, you organize and tidy your spirit. And I love that. And I love the energy about you. And I help you with those things. And I know earlier, I think when I was reading some of the rest of the write-up about him, that he loves to come and mess things up in your house if you've messed things up. So if you leave things messy, he's going to make it worse overnight. So he loves to be at your house, Capricorn, and kind of like help to keep those energies alive with you. Okay, so the next earth sign, Virgo. Okay. Ooh, I love this one. I got this one yesterday. It's the Sage, 19, which is 10, which is 1. So the Sage so they say the Sage is the shaman of the deck. So he's the shaman of the fairies. He has one good eye. And you can see that he's very old and growing, and he's very wise. And they say, you know, not all shaman are wise and not all wise men are shaman, but he's both. He's both wise and shaman. So Virgo, you have him hanging out in your corner, helping you to see things he helps to open up perspectives and see things that kind of that go together. He like brings things together, like all these various entities all together. So let's look up, I want to read a couple of things about him. Okay, so wisdom, hidden knowledge, retreat, old age, and patience. The sage is also the shaman. Okay, here we see wisdom and deep inner understanding. One of the keys of wisdom is to organize, integrate, and simplify one's thoughts. So he comes to you, and I think, he enjoys your energy of bringing together things in a simplified way. And so, you take all of these different complicated things and bring them together and help to simplify it. Complexity often leads to confusion. Simplicity is to be valued. This card signifies mental discipline informed by balanced learning and compassion. So learning and compassion. Tradition is valued, but appropriate change is accepted. The sage knows when to let go and when to move on. He knows when to retreat and think things over. So he is one of the most traditional of elements, and yet at the same time, he loves to learn new things. And so he has balanced those very well. The scales of justice are balanced in the sage's hands. This card is reading also signifies the need for deep consideration and refined judgment applied with compassion and mercy. So simple judgment with compassion and mercy in the concept of wisdom. And I'm looking at the colors here, and we have he kind of has the chakra colors, the rainbow effect, with it's not quite red, but orange and yellow on the bottom, moving up to purples and whites and stuff in the top. And so he kind of has the all-round knowledge of everything and all the energies brought into him. So that really has great energy, Virgo, for you for this time. Okay, so Taurus. Oh, cool. He like hides in the bushes. He's like a little kind of like are they called gnome? Like the little gnome that is in your garden. It's a really big nose and ears. It's just him too. So far, all three of the cards, there's only one fairy in the card. It's all leaves except for him, and it's 42. I'm gonna look up his name. Sometimes I can't tell from the writing. I want to make sure I get it right the first time. 42. Oh, there's two really similar ones, like the next one in the book. You see? It's him. And then there's this one. Okay. So this is Mick the Myomancer. Myomancer. Mick the Myomancer. That sounds big mouthful. Small clues, details, the messages everywhere, and patience. Patience again. Wow, earth signs. Well, you got lots of patience, right, Taurus? Okay. Attention to details is important at this time. Little things are not only important in themselves, but they also give you important information about larger things. Look for the inner hidden meaning in ordinary objects, happenings, and experiences. Life is trying to teach you. So those little things can make a difference. Teach you something by speaking to you gently. With luck and application, you will get the message before it has to speak to you more loudly. Body language in humans as well as mice may give you very useful information at this present time, especially if you learn to read it properly. So, learning about body language in humans and mice. I think Myomancer has to do with mice. Let me see. Sorry. Oh, Mick is particularly fond of reading the movements of field mice, as they are livelier and better fed than church mice. So I think I don't see it saying that, but I think that's what this Myomancer is, like a romancer of mice. Hint, if you work out what the question really is, it is much easier to recognize the answer when it comes. So it's kind of like those games where they give you the answer and you have to come up with the question, in trivias. And so it's like, it's easier to identify the answer when you're able to see the question. So, I think that in this case, Taurus, you're being called to kind of look at the fine details of things, look at the little things and the little mice in your life, the smaller entities, the smaller feelings, and those will help you understand the big things. And that by, he's probably really small. So, by seeing those little things around you, you will understand the bigger picture better. So it's almost like seeing the leaves for the tree, seeing the trees for the forest, kind of an effect. It's kind of a backwards effect in your mind. That's interesting. It reminds me of the starseed reading that we did for last week, and how it was talking about the same things, like flipping around your energies and the flipping around the way you see things. Okay, so then let's take a look at the air signs. Let's start with Gemini. Fairy for Gemini. She of the, let me just look it up. 5. It's a singer. Looks like a hand. Definitely airy, Gemini. 5 is about change and movement and direction, growth. The receptive principle, nurturing and fertility. Oh, nurturing, fertility, and the receptive principle. She of the crouch, Crouch, She of the Crouch. Oh, interesting. This is the great goddess, the many-named mother of all, and all goddesses are attributes or aspects of her. Her cup croach. Oh, you know what? It's probably a Celtic word. So the way they like write things is totally different. So it's probably like the croach or croak or something like that. Overflows with bounty for all. She is the yin energy of the universe, the feminine yin, the nurturing, compassionate, and wise. She gives form and brings into manifestation the will and life force of he of the fiery sword. His is the intention, the action, and hers is the manifest reality. In a sense, she is the croach holding all the worlds within her being. I gotta look up the pronunciation. Okay, Gemini in the air signs. So I had to look up the pronunciation and some of the meanings and stuff of this card. So I had a little pause in the video there. She of the Kruik. It looks like it has like those 5 fingers, like a hand. And it is about, it's like a Mother Earth, because it's a pile, a mountain, a hill, piling up of things. So it's basically mother, kind of like Mother Earth, and she is nurturing. So it's like her hand is there supporting and nurturing you. So let me read a little bit. She of the Kruik may indicate a form of pregnancy, a necessary time of nurturing and development. We need to be open to her overflowing grace. She may also indicate a need to allow her nurturing grace to flow through us to others in the form of unconditional love and giving and spiritual healing. She tells us of the need for unconditional receiving, of making the best of what we are offered. She also reminds us that unbounded love and grace is ours, just waiting to be accepted. So this card radiates comfort and nurturing to all those around it. Okay, so we can see this. It's kind of like that nurturing hand that's there for us. And it's interesting because the fairies that are the most powerful, the singers at the beginning, the songs of life, the bringing forth of all these things in life, are they look so kind of like ethereal and crystal clear, and so it doesn't look very comforting to me. But yet, if you think about it, of course, some air signs are probably not too comforting either. Like, you know, it's like not like water in cups or something. You know, says more swords. But so she is the female, you know, and there's another one that in here is the sword. That's the male. And then she's also the 5 energy. So I hope you enjoyed that, Gemini. So the next air sign, Aquarius. Let's look for your card, for your fairy. Luzguna, I think. I'll look her up. I'll look up her name, make sure I get it right. See her. It's beautiful. So see, she has a lot of fairies around her. She's not a lonely Aquarius. I think it's 39. So there's 12, which is 3. So companionship, 39. There she is. Yeah, Luzguna. What do you think of lasagna? Laguna. She's got those, she has the frog feet, and she's sitting on a toadstool. Okay, Aquarius. So, sunken treasure, discovery of self, and adventure. Oh, how cool. So, Laguna comes to you and she's like, so she is a fairy that lives in the water, and she doesn't care. Even though she's a light, bright fairy, she doesn't care what kind of water she lives in. It can be dark and murky, or it can be light and bright, because what she's doing is looking for treasure. And sometimes the biggest treasures are in the craziest of water. And we kind of think of that with the flowers, and how they come up through the dirty water, and this beautiful white water lily on top. So it has that, the lotus. So it has that kind of same energy, exploration. So I'm just going to read the last part, the reading part. Laguna tells us to pay attention to our dreams, to listen to the murmur of the waters, to note the patterns in the damp, fallen leaves, to listen to the distant high sounds of angelic music among the stars. So she goes anywhere from deep under the water to down and up into the stars. So she's very fluid. Actually, that's cool, because the star card it has the water, a lot of water in it, and it is the Aquarius card. She also suggests soothing baths, hot tubs, jacuzzis, trips to the nearest spa or hot springs, and dips in the hardiest sea, pond, or mountain lake. Mud baths also help us quiet down and become strong enough to explore her territory, which is the earth and the waters, from the depths to the heights. So she loves it all. She's an adventurer. As important as it is to explore the inner realms, she tells us that exploration of the outer realms is also vital. She suggests that we go places we have never been, try things we have never done, take classes in subjects we always meant to study someday. Maybe even learn a language that we don't know. It also goes without saying that she recommends exploring the world of fairy. She also suggests kissing any metaphorical or actual frogs you encounter to test for princes or princesses. But I don't know how seriously you want to take that suggestion. So there you go, Aquarius. It's interesting. Take a look on my channel. I've started trying to go places and talk about them. I'm here in Albuquerque, so maybe this weekend I'll get a chance to try out some new places again, take on her energy. Okay, so the next, that's my soul. The moon is my Aquarius. All right, so the third one for the air signs. I'm having a hard time today. Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Okay. Okay. Lace the Coon's daughter. She's so beautiful. She's sitting on the head of somebody. Somebody's head's down there. Okay. Okay, so this is number 38. Whew. Are we on 39? Okay. Or 37. Okay, 38. Yeah, we're on 39. So Libra, Laced Moon's Daughter. Light cast in shadows, ritual guidance, illumination, and riddles. She's the bringer of light in the darkness, yet moonlight both reveals and conceals. Okay, so let's see what this says. You may be finding apparently random events and ideas are falling into a pattern and beginning to make sense to you. Things may be flowing more easily than you are accustomed to, and your decisions and choices may be bringing an unusually high degree of success. Psychic abilities, hunches, intuitions, foreknowings are becoming clearer and making more sense. Trust the process. So Libra, what could be happening for you is that these things that are in the dark are becoming more visible in the light. Lace also brings psychic dreams, forelightening the future and illuminating the present. These dreams often speak in symbols, as fairies are wont to do. Okay, so look for symbols in your dreams that might be foretellings. Okay, I guess that's pretty straightforward. So now let us go to the water signs. The first one is Cancer. Okay, Cancer, your card. Ooh, it's my favorite, the Oakman. You can watch Cindy on Awakening to Spirit, and she does a lot of Oakman readings. The Oakman. And she's, in the book they say he has these orange eyes, and they're like this soft orange. But yet, if you give him different eyes, if you give him like, people say they look red to them. It's like if you give him purple eyes, and they say he has more wisdom, or you give him different colors of eyes. He has different. They drew him with several different colors, but they felt like, well, this is the real color of his eyes, and it's actually a very soft, beautiful yellow that is kind of indicative of the solar plexus, which is that energy of self-confidence. So he has a lot of self-confidence. He also has a lot of messages that he's been bringing through Cindy at Awakening to Spirit. So I highly recommend watching her videos. Probably one of my favorite readers, if not my favorite. 37. Truly has these amazing. So the Oakmen are strength, ancient wisdom, and depth. And they really do bring a lot of depth. Okay, so it says, this card depicts the strength and wisdom of age. It also reminds us that we need to know what is truly there to be seen, cannot be discovered by a superficial glance, hasty reaction. In a reading, the Oakmen tell us to look slowly and deeply into the heart of the matter, and to see past the superficialities of the surface. Consider the history of the situation in depth and learn from the past. So he's really trying to help you not just see the past as, oh, I wish I'd done this differently or this or that, regrets, but to learn from the past, bring in the elements of the past that will help you in the current situation. Learn from the wisdom of the elders, both those available to you personally and those you encounter in books and elsewhere. In this matter, it would be wise to make decisions after more pondering and study of the situation. Consider motivations in depth. Take action only after thorough deliberation. The Oakmen tell us that haste may be, at the moment, our worst enemy. They also suggest that we might learn a lot from trees. Consider the trees and their wisdom. Connect with the old wise trees and ask for help. So I'm also thinking, right now we have a full moon in Cancer, and there's a lot of truth and wisdom that comes from that. And I don't think it's something that we can just hastily look at. It's something that over time, during this 2 weeks as the full moon is waning, you especially, I think, will be drawn to some of these, past things that need to be looked at and understood in a new light. Okay, so Pisces. Oh yes, the friends. 46. Hey, Pisces, a friend. Beautiful, lots of blue, watery throat chakra energy. Communication. 46, which is 10, which is 1. That's interesting. The Oakman was 47. The Oakman's 47, and this one's 46. And it looks like two right next to each other again. Okay, the friends. It's friendship, support, and aid. So you see how the one is helping the other, and then they switch, and the other, they switch places. The one on top is very enough, and I've already told you all that he wants me to say about him in the introduction to part 2. He and Lokan, he is a high-speed friend beneath, are the best friends and can nearly always be found together. Call upon Fairy Nuff and you will get Lokan as well. And when you need support or to better understand true friendship, do call upon them. So their kind of key thing is to understand friendship and connection. Okay. Oh, this is cool. There's like a little poem thing. It says, hands outstretched, reach across the rushing water. You steady me, I steady you on the slippery rocks of time. Hands reaching, giving, and giving in return. I am so grateful to you for being there. I could never have managed alone. Friendly cooperation with others is necessary to reach mutual goals. Willingness to give and receive assistance and support is also required. Ask friends for help and suggestions. Listen with respect and accept the gifts willingly offered. Unconditional receiving is even more difficult than giving. 4 feet are more stable than 2. Alternatively, Fairy Nuff and Lokan may be saying that you will benefit at this time from offering support and aid to a friend. Look around you. Someone you love may be needing your help and be too bound up by fear of rejection or pride to ask. Volunteer your time, your help to your friends, and give unconditionally from a generous, loving heart. So that's your message, Pisces. It will do good. Increase your store of credit for help in a time of need, and it might even help them. So it's about friendship, support, and help. And that, we don't really need to do this alone. We have our soul family, we have our tribe that we need to find and communicate and connect with if we find that our family isn't there as we need them. Okay, so we're looking at Scorpio next. It's a Sylph 45. So beautiful. Oh my goodness, that is so weird. So, okay, the Oakman is 47. That was the one that came out for, was it Aquarius? No, it was Cancer. So Cancer was Oakman, and then Pisces, the water sign, another water sign is 46, which is Friends. And now you guys in Scorpio are 45. So all the water signs are together in the book. And I'm just like picking them randomly from the pile. Oh my goodness. Tatan the Sylph. Acute intellect, quickness, mental synthesis, discernment. So, a lot of smarts. Okay. What we see here is mental quickness, adaptability, and enthusiasm. Ideas and opinions abound. A few are brilliant, but others vary from mediocre to downright silly. Be selective. Mental and psychic abilities may be awakening. Independent thinking is in operation. New ideas and new versions of old ideas are creating an exciting, effervescent atmosphere. Avoid excess and extremes. Minds may change often as new ideas, new ways of seeing bubble to the surface. So minds may change often as new ideas and new ways of seeing bubbles to the surface. So in your case, there's really not a lot of new ideas, new way of looking things. New things are opening up to you. Out of conflict and confusion, resolve by goodwill and clear thinking, a new and better understanding may come. So it might be that during this time you're going to have some confusion. And that's okay, just allow it to bubble up. And in the end, a lot more clarity will be found. So that's really great. That's interesting. The energies are all like in this one section for you guys, water signs. Okay, so let's take a look now at the fire signs. Let's start with Sagittarius. Oh, I love this one. The Singer of Healing. It's a 10. It's one of my favorites, Sagittarius. So some of you are being called to heal They're watching this and healing in some way. They're healers. So the singers all have this kind of like crystalline look to them. And in this case, I see this singer of healing as bursting apart and spreading out healing into the universe. So, Sagittarius, this is the healer's card, and its presence in a reading may speak of healing to be given or of healing to be received. The circumstances and processes of reaching well-being may seem easy, or they may bring great challenges. So to get well-being, it might be easy or might be challenging. In either case, we are asked to participate in our own healing as we are strengthened by this singer. More usually, this singer speaks of both giving and receiving, because we cannot truly and freely give without receiving as well. So like with Reiki, you know, as you are a conduit. So as you're giving Reiki, you're also receiving it. Healing is something that flows through us, not from us. And as such, we are inevitably affected by its passage. Drawing this card tells us of both a need and an opportunity for healing ourselves and others. As Warren, one of my teachers, said, healing is not something you do, it's something you are. And so this healer, the song of healing, comes into your life, and it reminds us that healing will flow through us as a conduit. So as we are a healer, we are also being healed. Okay, so Aries. Arval Parrot. He's actually one of my favorites. You see his throat chakra is so strong. He's such a talker. And then you see those two little, okay, so you have these two chakras. I don't remember what they're called, but so you have your crown and you have your third eye. Now everybody knows about those, but you also have one's black and one's magenta on the sides here, but kind of like by your ears. And that's what he kind of has here. And if you combine together in your meditation the magenta, black, and the third eye is indigo color. So if you take magenta, black, and indigo and you put all three of those together in your awareness, in your meditation, it really opens up your connection to contacting like the masters and, you know, and the angels and the higher beings and the higher places. So he's really, you know, not only is he communicating with Earth and with people of Earth and people of Fairy, but he's also communicating on this plane with the deities. So that's what he's showing here. Okay, so safety. So he's Arval Parrot, communication. Okay. Clear communication are vitally important. Strive for verbal brilliance. Listen carefully. Be articulate. Be willing to calmly debate the issues and explore ideas with others. Open communication will enhance the chances of success all around. Arval also suggests that the querent watch for body language, incomplete sentences, and unfinished thoughts. and try to discover what signals are meant to get across. Sometimes when I'm talking, I tend to do incomplete sentences, and it's good to get that throat chakra opened a little more. Okay, Aries, that's a beautiful message about communication, I think, with the 3D and the 5D. So now the last one that you got to wait all the way to the end here. So we are with Leo. Oh, of course, Leo's last one. All right. So Leo, oh, the Lady of the Harvest, so beautiful. She has so many fairies around her. Does she have antlers? Or might just be sticks. She's very large and full, beautiful. Harvest, bringing all these energies. Leo, 18. The Lady of the Harvest. Completion, grief, loss, harvest, release. Oh, it's interesting. It's like when the harvest is a loss to the plant. It is time to accept change, to move on to the next phase. Power and strength in the present and future come from releasing the past. This is a time of liberation, and we might as well cooperate with it. It will happen whether we want it to or not. Release and liberation may be painful or joyful, depending on the circumstances. Cry if you need to. Be joyful if that is appropriate. But in either case, trust the process. Acknowledge what you feel and prepare to move on. So this is the release, letting go card as the energy of the harvest. And yeah, I mean, if you go out into nature and you harvest the mushrooms, you're taking the mushrooms from the forest. If you harvest a flower, you're taking the flower or the seed from the plant. So it's letting go. It says, on the other hand side of this letting go business, there are many things that make us laugh and lighter and happier when we release them. Oh, this is like the best card of all, Leo. Beautiful, wonderful energies. Letting go, releasing, and in that, feeling that happiness, joyfulness, and lightness of being in the right place. Well, thank you so much, all of you, for coming to this Zodiacs, going through the Faeries. And for any of you that watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. It was nice to have you here, and I will see you next time.